Thank you for this opportunity for giving us young homeopaths to come forward at this time. As you have already mentioned, with ongoing scenario that is happening and the need of homeopaths to come and fight off the situations. So, okay, I'll just share the screen. So, depression and homeopathy management. So, the things that we'll be seeing today that what is depression, the aims and objectives of homeopathy, how the depression evolved in the past history till now, the current scenario of depressions, the risk factors, clinical presentation, the role of homeopathy, and a few of the cases that were very close to me. So the simplest manifestation of depression that I have encountered is like people are always smiling, but inside they are crying. Some of the most famous people who fought depressions, and they gave us a hope that anything is possible if we have a strong will. So we have some of the celebrities like Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, Anushka Sharma, Angela Jolie, J.K. Rowling, Deepika Padukone, Chris Evans, and Sushant Singh lost the battle during his depression, and the legendary himself, Abraham Lincoln. So, first of all, we need to know that what is depression and what is the need of having, to talk about depression. So, it's mostly the most common mental disorders that we are facing in this current generation, with depressed mood, loss of interest or pleasure, decreased energy, feeling of guilt, disturbed sleep or appetite, and poor concentration. Depression comes with symptoms of anxiety, and it may be chronic or recurrent. And when the depression is not, if they cannot deal it, they end up leading suicides. And we have 1 million per year the suicide rates. So the aim and objective of today's session is to explore the role of homeopathy in cases of depression, to know the role of counseling as an auxiliary line of treatment in cases of depression, and to study the group of drugs indicated for depression, and to study some of the rubrics which are present in various repertories. So if we come to the evolution of depression, so if we can see from the ancient times, it was Hippocrates. As we know, he was a Greek physician, and he included mania, that is melancholic depression, as a black bile. Freud identified the disease of melancholia as a clinic depression. Psychologists theorize that it is maybe due to the imbalance of neurotransmitter. And today, the DSM-4 classification category is for major depressive disorders. So next is why we need to talk about it. As early I have mentioned in one of my slides that 1 million per year suicide rates. So 22 people are world in suffering from depression, and the consequences are leading them to suicide. But why suicide is their only option? Because when they are depressed, they are deprived of socio-economic opportunities. They feel themselves that they have the decreased quality of life, leading to them to a suicide, an option of suicide. So, and higher prevalence of depression was among the age of 25 to 69 years old, which is reported by Indian studies. And according to WHO, 36% of Indians are depressed. And in this current scenario of COVID, we know that this level of depression has increased a lot. In a recent study, it was like 1 million Indians between the age group of 15 to 29 years, and 36 commit suicide annually. And by 2020, that we have seen last year, 5.7% was increased in the ratio of depression, leading to the second most common cause of debility. So if we come to the types of depression, we should know that there are types of depression is major depressive order, persistent depressive order, that is bipolar, postnatal, and premenstrual disorders also. So major depressive order is also known as clinical depression. Persistent is known as dysthymia. Bipolar is known as manic. Postnatal we common encounter as postpartum depression, and premenstrual dysphoria. So it is categorized by mainly major depressive disorder, prolonged feeling of sadness, and persistent is depression symptoms that last at least for 2 years. Then bipolar is when we have extreme fluctuations in mood and energy. And postnatal is feeling depressed for several weeks after giving birth. And premenstrual is more severe than premenstrual syndrome. So if we come to the pathophysiology of depression, so we have the chemical factors, the gender, the personality, the stress, and the physical factors. So in the biochemical factors, I would like to enlighten about the dopamine and serotonin level that are considered with it. But mainly, it is mainly due to serotonin as compared to dopamine. In gender, women are more prone to it because of the internal stress that they are bearing, that unsatisfactory marriages and hormonal disorders. In stress, we have a long-standing stress, abusive or uncaring family, breakup of close relationship, feeling of shame. So in personality, there is high level of anxiety, self-criticism, high interpersonal sensitivity, self-focus. And in physical, we can come with any illness, any cancers, or compromised immune function. So next is risk factors. So who are more prone to it? So in biological factors, we have genetic factors, altered hypothalamo-pituitary adrenal axis, altered circadian rhythm. Psychological factors, we have negative parental influence. So it is always mentioned that when a child is growing, the parents need to have a good bond with them because however in the later stage it reflects in their life. The personality style, separation, or when they have an early loss from their loved ones. And socioeconomic factors, as we are seeing that during the COVID-19, that many people have lost their jobs. And this is the best example, this is the best scenario, I would say, that defines that how depression is leading to our country. Cultural factors, we have interpretations influence depression on onsites and its symptoms threshold when there is in comparisons of religion taking place. It also affects and is one of the major cause of depression. So if we see the clinical presentation, so as we all know that children exhibit a different kind of presentations as compared to adults, and in children it's very difficult to know whether they are depressed or not. So the signs and symptoms that children's faces are sadness, frequent sadness, abandoning hobbies, hopelessness, absenteeism for schools, poor school performances, poor concentration. They're not having a good relationship with their parents or with their friends. Talk of attempt to run away. They are feeling low. They it's like they are deteriorated from a regular event that they were. Isolation. They have a habit of changing their meals, their sleep patterns. In adults, we can see is it's more prone, like they have lost interest in their day-to-day lives, weight gain or weight loss, fatigue or low energy, suicidal thoughts, poor concentration, sleep disorders, feeling of guilt and sadness. So it's how homeopathy can help to treat depression. Homeopathic management, as we know that homeopathy, everybody knows that homeopathy is a three-leg stool, that is organon of medicine, repertory, and materia medica are interlinked to each other. If we talk about the organ of medicine, if we talk about apathy, I would say that our case taking is one of the most effective tool of treating and depression because our case taking always consists of a counseling, the way the patient narrates their symptoms and how we can console them. So, as it's Dr. Kent have always said that it is the man that when the mind is sick, it will reflect the whole body, and it is same in this today's world because as we know that when people are panicking due to fear, they are they are lowering the immunity and which are leading them to have disease. So, in the classification of disease according to organ of medicines, as we have from aphorism 210 to 230, which says that there are four types of mental diseases. That's somatopsychic, that is in section 215, acute emotions in section 221, doubtful origin in section 224, psychosomatic illness in section 225. And we have that is also caused as true mental illness. And if we talk about somatopsychic, it is mainly due to corporal illness that is transferred into a mental disease, and it is also considered as one-sided. If we talk about acute emotions, it is mainly caused by fright or abuse of spirituous liquors, and doubt for original mainly due to bad practices, neglection of mind, or superstition. And emotional illness mainly is due to anxiety, worry, vexation, and wrong and frequent fear and fright that we are seeing in COVID-19. So if we talk about treatment, like we have for somatopsychic, we have like always we have first we have to give an antisoric remedies, and after that we can give the other medicines. And for acute emotions, it says falling we have to give the acute medicines like aconite, belladonna, stramonium, which is followed by long antisoric treatment. And further, it may be relapsed with more violence and incurability. Then in the third type we have, it's for doubtful origin. We have selection of remedy that can cure the state of incoordination, employ reason grafted, mind resolution of grief, separation, isolation of the patient from causative environments. Then we have that sensible, friendly, exhaustion, consolatory arguments, serious representations. Then for psychosomatic illness, that is, we only need medical treatment that is antisoric and counseling and appropriate diet. So if we come to the repertorial approach, in repertorial approach, we have different repertories over where there different rubrics are mentioned with different medicines. For example, in Murphy repertory, we have the highest grade of medicines, that is aconite, arsenic, ars iode, aurum, calcarea ars, calcarea sulf, calcarea carb, carboanimalis, causticum, simsifuga, ferrum, ferrum iode, ignitia, caliphos, mesotherium, natrum carb, natrum mu, opium, rustox, pulsatilla, sternum, veratum, zinc, thuja. If we have a look upon complete repertory over here also, there is rubric for sadness, followed by despondency, depression, and melancholia, with 548 remedies mentioned over here. And the remedies are like aconite, arsenic, ars iode, calcarea, then ferrum, gelsemium, hyoscyamus, platina, pulsatilla, sulfur, thuja, and in the second grades we have bufo, senna, digitalis, kali ars, miguel, staphysagra, tarantula. And we can also, if we have a look on BBCR, in the mind chapter under the rubric depression, there are 71 remedies, and the highest grades are for arsenic, graphitis, colocin, calcarea, brynia, ignitia, lilium tig, natrum carb, and sulfur. So it's like we have seen about that how organon helps. We have seen the different rubrics that are mentioned for the for depression in different repertories. But the main is what our Materia Medica offers. Why there is a need to have a interlink between each other. So first of all, homeopathy has a place for every patient, and it can be used as a sole treatment if patients does not feel that they want to see or need to a counselor or a therapist. There are many homeopathic medicines that can be used to treat the numerous symptoms of depression and anxiety, and that can be difficult to start to know. So in Kent repertory, as we have already seen in the previous slides, so some of the main remedies that I would like to highlight with their key points that are mainly that comes for the depression. One of is this, the arsenic album, as we all know about it. It is mainly a remedy for excessive fear. especially those who are obsessed about their health and who are termed as mainly perfectionists. Then we have the aurum metallicum, when we have workaholic people who have a tendency towards that they, if they are unsuccessful in life, they comes to a point of suicide, that they could not do anything, they are hopeless, and they have a failure in work. So this ornament can be seen in a child also. If a child who is a good student and who always as a topper, and he does not succeed to become a topper, we can see that it affects his life, and comes a time that he tries to, he tries to be away from everything. So if at that time we can caught that situation, then with the help of Oromet we can save him from going to the part of a depression. So ignatia, as we always know, that it is mainly when there is a disappointment or grief, they do not want to be appear vulnerable, defensive. They may burst into tears or laughter for no particular reason. In Kali Force, we have like a feeling of depressed after prolonged periods of emotional stress or excitement, and lack of concentration and insomnia. Uh, in my experience, what I have experienced till now, when there is an during old age, I would say like above 50 years, 50 plus, if you are having an old patient with the symptoms of like depressive, Kali Force is one of the remedies that give you that can give you a good result. Staphysagria is a remedy, homeopathic remedy for person who are very sensitive and emotional. They are addicted to a problem, their work, addicted to their work, and a problem standing up to others. In Staphysagria, I would like to have one of my like to share one of my case. Was a case of diabetes, and when I've inquired into that case, I came to know that there were a lot of family issues, but he was not able to raise his voice. The person was not able to raise his voice, and he always suppressed his emotions so much that he didn't share throughout his life. He is right now at the age of 60, so he didn't share his those experiences. He was like he was making a mountain of emotions inside within him. So his sugar levels were high, like in it's like fasting it was 170, pp it was 220, and there was sugar during routine microscopic. So Staphysagria 1M helped him to get back his sugars towards normal, and with the help of Cygezium that I prescribed him, 10 drops BD for 15 days, the sugars were eradicated from the urine. So Staphysagria is very useful in the cases of diabetes in relation to suppressed emotions and in a state of depression. So next is Pulsatilla. Pulsatilla, as we know, as the flower is very mild, so the person is. They're very tearful, they desire lots of comfort and attention, and very moody. So, Pulsatilla can be given during premenstrual syndrome when a woman is when a woman or girl is facing any kinds of depressions. They have mood swings. So at that time, we can give depression during premenstrual syndrome. We can go with Pulsatilla. And Ectia racemosa, that we all know, that is Simsifuga, which is mostly used in postpartum depressions. That we know that there is a great depressions with dream of impending evils and deliriums, and they try to injure herself. And this is one of the remedy, Nux moschata, where there is a lot of depressions, hallucination, loss of memory. A typical picture of depression, what we study, the signs and symptoms we can get in a picture of Nux moschata. So these were the mainly remedies that are commonly I encountered while treating in the cases of depression with other diseases. But there are two cases that are very close to me, and I like to share them, which which taught me, yes, if we have a will, if we have a strong will, we can conquer the thing. And it's very beautiful when you can be a help to someone. So these are very cases were very close to me. So it's in the year September 2016, 10 September. Mr. MS, 77-year-old male, retired, married, lives in Haryana, and the diagnosis was lumbago with depression. So he was having pain in lower back in the from the level of L3 to L5 since 2 years, stiffness, and he was not able to move. And mostly the problems were aggravated when bending, cycling, lifting up things, and especially in winters. And it was always better by firm pressure and massage. And he started having a feeling of depression, a feeling of forsaken, that there is no desire of living, speaking to himself when he was alone, reduced intake of food. Everything was every time he wants to be alone after the death of his wife in 2016. So in his past history, what I encountered that appendectomy in 1987, operated for gallstone in 2014, a known case of hypertension and diabetes, currently on medication, amlodipine 10 mg, metformin 1 gram, and glimepiride. So family history, mother and father have a natural death. Then one elder brother that died due to cardiac arrest, one younger sister with diabetes, and wife died due to CA breast. So if a patient has a person, that patient is a very tall, heighted, fair complexion, very lean and thin person, prefers mainly vegetarian food, appetite decreased after the death of his wife, or a great desire for leafy vegetables, and a desire for sweets also, but due to diabetes, he avoids them. Sour things which causes pain in his teeth, intolerance to cold food, thirst is 3 to 4 liters per day, and it was mainly for especially for warm water. In habits, there was nothing significant. Then, if we go to food and drinks, occasionally alcoholic can drink alone too. And it wasn't sleep, that it was sleepless nights for him, dreams especially of a wife. So thermal reaction, the patient was totally chilly. He likes summers, like warm food, bath warm water throughout the year, covering required throughout the year. So all favor towards a chilly patient, sorry. So change of weather whenever the winter approaches, it causes terrible pain. He does not desire open air. And if we go to the life space history, life space history is, according to me, is very important, because a disease is not it's not started from at that point only. It has some cracks which we can find in their past. So when I inquired about uh, the his life space history, so I came to know from how situations, how difficult circumstances has went, and he came forward and he fought every battles that came in his life. So he was born and brought up in Uttarakhand. During childhood, he had one elder brother and younger sister. From childhood, he was very obedient. At the age of 15, he got married and moved to Delhi at the age of 18 in search of work. He joined as a peon in Delhi and worked very hard. Despite of several circumstances, he managed things well. Family consisted of a wife and 5 children. There used to be financial crisis, but he used to manage everything. His strength was always his wife. As the time passes, things got good. From the beginning, he was fastidious regarding the work, punctual in time, always got appreciated at workplace. At the age of 60, he got retired. There was some up and down in the relationship with his elder son, but at that time, his younger son and daughters supported him. During the year of 2014, her wife was diagnosed with CA breast of right side, for which she was treated. Everything was doing well, but in 2016, the month of April, during the follow-up, her wife came to know that about the malignancy of disease, and during the month of June, she passed away. At that moment, so from this case, what I learned that whenever we have a condition of any depression, first thing when that incident took place, first thing that we should notice what was the reaction of the patient. Because if we come to know that what was the reaction of the patient at that moment, so our half case is solved. So it's a very crucial point and very important point that if someone comes with a history of anxiety or depression, and if there is an event, so at that time we have to inquire about them, what has happened, how they reacted to that situation. So at this situation, he bursted into tear and immediate response. But after that was quiet and started being depressed. He had no desire to live, speaking to himself when alone, reduced intake of food, interest for everything, wants to be alone all the time, sympathetic towards others, and always ready to help them. Despite of being in depression, he always used to help. In journal examination, there was nothing significant, but on inspection, at the moment of palpation, there was temperature was warm, movement restricted, flexion of lumbar spine and extension of spine was painful, and X-ray showed mild degenerative changes at the level of L2 and L4. So this was the analysis of whole case that was done. And the evaluation of symptoms. Evaluations of symptoms was done, and the remedy, many of you would thought the remedy would be natrum mu ignitia. Initially, I also thought that this could be the remedies, arsenic, staphysagria, but the remedy that I prescribed him, this was a repertorial totality, natrum mu aurum illumina CP and nux form. But according to the knowledge of materia medica, what I prescribed him was Kali for 6 TDS for 7 days. In this case, Kali Posa indicated because of insomnia, depression, exhaustion was there in the old age. And when we study about Kali group, we come to know that the Kali patients are very routinistic, very disciplined, and family-oriented person. So this person he is very disciplined. All the qualities of a Kali person is found in him. So on 10 September, I gave him Kalipos. So on 20th September, the brooding tendency was better, insomnia was better, feeling of being alone was decreased, appetite was better. Then again, I repeated Kalipos 6 for 7 days. Brooding tendency was better, insomnia was better, pain in lumbar region, it was better, but by 40%. So I alternated because with Rustox 30 BD 7 days, because Rustox is also there in the case of depression, and when you have lumbar pain with depression, you can go for Rustox. And Califos, again, I would emphasize it is one of the biochemic, and since he was in the phase of old age, exhausted feeling, so biochemic worked as an excellent remedy for him. So on 2nd October 2016, the brooding tendency was better by 90%, insomnia better by 90%, pain in lumbar region better by 60%. At that moment, I increased the dose of Rustox to 200 BD for 3 days. Califos, I continued BD from TDS to I came to BD for 15 days. Saclac, BD for 15 days. And after on 20th October, the wonderful thing was his insomnia was cured. He was able to sleep properly. His brooding tendency got better. Now he was not being abandoned. He used to come. He used to laugh. He used to do all the. It was like he got a new life, I would say. And this case is very personal to me because he is my grandfather. So for me, the biggest feeling was to cure my grandfather. So I gave him Rustox 200 BD 3 days, and I reduced the dose of Califos to OD 30 days and Saclac BD for 30 days. And still he's alive and he's very happy. He is now doing all the activities that hindered him for his back pain. And if sometimes he gets some back pain, so usually I gave him Macfos, and it relieves him a lot, and he's now able to do everything. So that's why this is the case which is very personal to me. So next case is It's one of my student. He's 18 years old, a student, uh, unmarried, and he's living in Pune. So this case is he's having burning in his soles and an injury of right hand wrist. That is pain was on and off, and when lifting something heavy during gymming. So everything was well. 10 days back, he started having burning sensation in soles after jogging, then complaints aggravated while sleeping at night after jogging, better by rest. And the peculiar thing that he got an injury in the right wrist 4 to 5 years back while playing basketball. There was a fracture and plaster was done. And still he complains pain on and off that when mainly doing during gym. So he took many allopathic treatments and homeopathic treatments, but got no relief. Every time he comes to me and used to tell me, "Ma'am, I took Rustox 10M, I took Arnica 10M, but there was no relief. What should I do? How should I proceed?" So after family history, everything is good. Desire, he had a craving for sweets, addiction for tea 5 times a day, and mainly a hot patient. So when I uh, inquired him, because he used to come with me to library for studies. So he's born and brought up in Haryana. He was a topper during his school time, an overprotected child from childhood, adventurous, daring, loves to travel. He shifted to Pune 1 year back for his graduation, and during that same year, something happened that a group of students were caught creating official offensive posts regarding their teachers on the social media. And he was questioned regarding the same, which caused him absenteeism from school, feeling of forsaken feeling disturbed his daily routine. He went to home for a couple of weeks, but those incidents always disturbed him. It was during his exams that he consulted me. He used to accompany me for studies during library, and he used to share with me what happened. I used to listen to him always, observed him, how he keeps his book and stationery things during short breaks between them. The following observation were made by me: that he used to think upon the little things of matters again and again and on the same thing. He does not like cleanliness. Like he used to keep his books not in a proper way, in a systematic way, an unsystematic way. And always he's used to talk about like a philosophical ma'am, ki aisa hoga, aisa hai, waisa hai. So it was this thing. So after it was all the analysis of the case, the repertorial approach over here was natrum, lachesis, sulfa, pulsatilla, nux vomica. But I didn't went through the repertorial approach this time also, because it's not always that the repertoire will come with the exact remedies that you want. It's just a aid. It's just a aid for you. So for me, the differential remedies that were natrum, rustox, sulfur, but I prescribed him natrum sulf. I prescribed him natrum sulf due to the natrum has a tendency for brooding, and brooding and sticking to the past events, and sulfur because of the way he is. He the part of the cleanliness past, the restlessness. So I gave him sulfur 200 as a start dose, and SL for BD for 7 days. And I told him to avoid exercises for few days and have an good hydration. So it was a case. Then on 8th Jan 2019, his burning soles got better, and his the pain in wrist got better by 50%. And if we have a thought of why natrum sulf, if we study the Allen's keynote over there, we have that in natrum sulf we have bad effects from injuries. So natrum sulf was prescribed on the basis for the bad effects of the injury that was not cured by arnica, rustox, ruta, other remedies, but it was cured by a dose of natrum sulf, which also helped him to cure his brooding tendency. So in the next follow-up, when I called him, so his burning in soles was previous the same, and wrist pain also got better by 80%. So I thought, and some brooding tendency was again happened due to some college issues. So I prescribed him once again natrum sulf 1 m start dose. So when he come that his pain in wrist got better by 90%, brooding tendency was decreased, and I put him on placebo for 7 days. After that, I again called him, and there was no burning in his soles because with the help of the element of sulfur in the remedy, it cured the burning in the soles, and the pain in wrist was better by 90%. And the further follow-up also shows that the pain was better in his wrist, and now he is one of those athletes that is doing well without pain in his wrist. So these were the very two cases that are very close to me. Apart from the homeopathic management, we study in the organ of medicines that auxiliary management is very essential, is one of the part. So no case is complete. In my practice, what I do, that I also tell patients to have a mode of auxiliary treatment, auxiliary management, like in case of, as we discuss about the depression, as we go for a balanced diet, counseling time to time, creating of new hobbies, and if the patient is very severe, then we can have any behavior therapy. And this is all about my encounter with depression and its management in homeopathy. Thank you.
So thank you, Dr.